Hello and welcome to Blush, the world's first wellness show that's actually entertaining. I'm Hiwa and I quit law so I can help you look and feel your best. Together, we get into food, nutrition, all the latest wellness trends, but we also laugh, get silly, drop a few F-bombs, and go on a million tangents. So if that sounds like your vibe, we're about to be best friends. Happy Tuesday, my loves. I am so excited for today's episode. Okay, I know I kind of say that all the time, but honestly, if I wasn't, wouldn't that be problematic? Shouldn't I be excited about the episodes that I'm preparing myself? Wouldn't it be so concerning if I came in here and I was like, well, we're in for a fucking doozy? You know what I mean? No, actually, today's is going to be really fun. It's inspired by something that happened with Ozzy. So I have been really into jorts or Bermuda length shorts this summer because, they're really trendy. They're of the moment. And as much as I'd like to be the type of person who sees above trends and stuff, I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we're all really swayed by trends. And I think the reason that we're also swayed by trends is because it's the, what's the word for it? There's a word. It's not the proximity effect. It's the exposure effect. So the more we're exposed to something, the more we like it. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you made a new friend, you may have thought she was pretty the first time you met her, but the more you see her, the prettier you find her and the more you like her. The more we're exposed to something, the more we tend to like it. So the reason that we're all kind of swayed by trends, I actually don't think it's because we're trying to copy people and fit in and be liked and things like that. Sure, that might be happening. Sure, that may have been in play when we were younger, but a lot of it is because you see something over and over and over again, and it just kind of grows on you. And then you're like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I have to have it. So that's how I feel about these Bermuda shorts. But I've been doing a lot of financial planning and I'm trying to invest more and save more money and just just clean things up and be less wasteful. And I don't need to give in to every fucking trend. Now, did I buy one pair of jorts? Yes, one pair I did buy. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, I have all these pants in my archive, I call it. So when I redid my closet at the top of this year, I created what I call a working closet, which are all my favorite pieces that I want to wear all the fucking time, which is kind of my wear your good underwear rule, which, maybe we'll talk about it. It's not on my note cards, but maybe I'll get into it. Then I created a closet archive, which were things that I didn't necessarily want to get rid of, but I also don't need them out in display right now. Sorry, burp incoming. And if you don't know what that tapping sound is, go to last week's episode, which is a phenomenal episode, by the way. So you're in for a treat, but it also explains why I tap myself, why I burp myself like a baby. Anyway, so I remembered that I have these pants in the archive that I ordered last year on Amazon, and they're really kind of cute. They're kind of like jeans and they're stretchy, but they have those, those front pleats that trousers have. They have those. They're really cute. It's just that they fit me really awkward and the length is really awkward and stuff. And I literally don't wear them. And they were cheap on Amazon. I was like, wait, why don't I just cut them into jorts length, which I did. I since have taken two trousers from the archive that also didn't fit well. By the way, our little co-host, so she has now reached a stage in her geriatric journey where she's just in a constant state of being. She doesn't even have accidents anymore. Every time she's down, it's just wet underneath her. She's on medication for it. It hasn't had an effect yet, but fingers crossed one of these days. Anyway, so she has a waterproof blanket underneath her, so I'm not concerned about that. But she's had some real stinky farts since last night. So I'm really terrified for, another on-camera diarrheal explosion. And honestly, I don't think that her nervous system could handle it because it's taken me weeks to get her back on the podcast. I mean, she was dying of embarrassment. And I tried to tell her, Sam, listen, this audience will not judge you for having diarrhea. All this audience will do is honestly just be really jealous. That's it. So you're in good company. It's good. They're going to ask you for tips on how to get their bowels moving. Anyway, So I since have taken a bunch of my trousers that fit weird to the tailor to cut those into Bermuda length. Anyway, we love the Bermuda length shorts, right? So I was showing Ozzy how I did that. And he's like, oh, cool. Yeah, they look so cool. And then I think we were walking around and I was like, yeah, and they're so like trendy and of the moment. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, like this length, like the knee length short is really trendy on girls right now. And he's like, really? I haven't noticed it. And so as we're walking, I start pointing it out. I'm like, look, she's wearing it. 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 He's like, oh shit, you're right. Like it really is trendy. And what I learned is my man does not look at other girls. And for that, I've never been more grateful. Anyway, so on the same walk, Ozzy turns to me and he goes, do you ever set your own trends? And I was like, do I ever? And I was like, listen, I try to set trends all the fucking time. It's just that unfortunately they don't really catch on. And then I started listing some examples. And then I thought, what a fun podcast episode idea. Instead of, how I do hot or not and I dissect all these wellness trends, why don't I do a podcast episode of wellness trends that I've tried to start or that I'd like to be a thing that haven't quite caught on the way I'd like them to quite yet, but they'll fucking get there. So let's get into it. So number one, if you've been following me, I'm sure you've noticed I am fucking obsessed with these high protein, electrolyte rich, depuffing, debloating refresher beverages. I have so many varieties of them. The first one I did was the high protein strawberry milk. I believe that was the first one. And then I started doing a cacao version of that, cacao and maca. And when I tell you every single fucking time I drink that drink, I have the best poo of my life every single time without fail. Did I just have one? Yes. Am I terrified that I'm going to have to poo soon? Also, yes. But it hasn't happened yet. I did a saffron rose version. I've done a blue unicorn matcha version. I've done a saffron matcha version. I've done a pandan matcha version. We have to come back to pandan. I've done a pandan cacao version. I've done a dirty chai, and I've done an ube espresso version. I think those are all the varieties of this drink I've done, but they're all kind of formulaic in that there's some kind of flavoring agent, one or two. There's a lot of coconut water, and there's the Eden Foods soy milk, Eden soy in the green packaging, frothed with a hand frother, sometimes with a flavor added or not. So the varieties are different, right? The very first one I did, the strawberry one, I pureed strawberries. I put that on the bottom. Then I put ice on top. Then I put the frothed milk on top. For the cacao one, I mix the cacao and the maca with hot water. And then I add the soy milk. I froth all those together. And then I put the coconut milk on the bottom and I add the cacao mix on top. By the way, in videos and stuff, I usually use ice because visually ice helps the layers stay separated. Oh, another version I've done is a Thai iced tea. I didn't even write that one down. Probably so many other versions that I'm not thinking of right now. But in real life, I actually don't love to add ice. That's just because I don't love my beverages that cold. It's still cold because like all the shit lives in the fridge, but still. Okay, sorry. I'm very burpy today. I've had a lot of beverages today and I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's day one of my period also, by the way. Just love to tempt fate with all white all the time. Anyway, oh my God. My friend just told me that her ex, who is like the most toxic, awful human being ever, apparently hates when people wear all white. And I was like, yeah, I knew this person was a fucking demon. And thank you so much for this confirmation. I now know beyond a shadow of doubt. Anyway, for the saffron rose one, that one I made a saffron sea moss gel, put that on the bottom, put the coconut water, and then I put rose powder with the soy milk to make it pink and put that on top. So it's like orange, clear, pink. For the blue unicorn matcha, I did blue spirulina sea moss gel on the bottom, coconut milk, and then the matcha. And I like to add moringa to my matcha usually. I just find it just works, and you get some extra nutrients, whatever. Put that like the green foam on top. For the pandan matcha, I just mix the pandan powder into the matcha along with pandan extract, which brings me to pandan. You know what? We're going to talk about it later too. I now have had my hands on pandan. I've tried both powder and an extract. The extract is better. The powder, I'm still getting the hang of how to use it because it feels really grainy all the time. Yo, this shit is so fucking good. Like, bury me in Ponton. It is the best flavor I've ever had in my entire fucking life. Dirty chai. Ooh, this is one of my favorite ones. So it's espresso, and then I do Ceylon cinnamon, a little bit of ginger powder, a little bit of cardamom, a little bit of clove and nutmeg, hot water, froth all that with the milk. And then the coconut water and it like creates this cloud on top that's so visually appealing. And then you can mix it with a straw. And then the ube espresso, I just did the espresso with the hot water. I'm like kind of a trash person. I don't know how to make real espresso yet. If anyone can teach me how to make real espresso without like having a big bulky setup, please, please, please do, because I have been using instant espresso powder. Now, I will say it's like a very fancy bougie brand that I bought at a fancy grocer. So I feel like it's a little less trashy, but it's still kind of trashy, you know, like I should learn how to make actual espresso now that I drink coffee, and it's like, my favorite thing in the world. And then I just mix ube powder into the soy milk, and it's like purple and beautiful and like, just amazing. Amazing. No, I fucking love these drinks. And you know what's funny? Actually, yesterday, I decided to count my macros all day because I just kind of wanted to see what's up and like make sure I'm getting enough of everything. And I found that I'm getting like 95 grams of protein a day, which is like, it's great for me. Like that's like, you know what I mean? That's slightly more than a gram per pound of body weight. Now, I am very short. Keep that in mind. I'm 5'0", so that's why I weigh so little. But like that's amazing. And I was talking to my friend. She's like, "Wait, I don't even get that much protein, and I eat far more calories than you. Like, how the fuck are you achieving this?" And honestly, the reason I'm achieving it is because of all of these drinks. That soy milk has 12 grams of protein per cup. Plus, it tastes like the nectar of the gods. It tastes like if God were to go milk the teats of the angels. That's the milk that would come out of angel titties. You know, we waste no opportunity on this podcast to be sacrilegious. Like, I'm pretty sure I already alienated the religious cloud a few weeks ago with, what was that, like, insanely unhinged tangent I went on about the Holy Trinity? And then I tried to, like, undo it by telling this insane story about taking, like, a Bible class when I was in college. I really did love that class, though. It was a good time. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm so sorry if you are religious. Listen, and we just like to joke, okay? Like, it shouldn't be so deep. Like, why is it such a crime to say that God is... Why is it such a crime to say God is massaging the boobs of angels? And really squeezing their nipples and getting them to drop milk down from the sky, and that milk is then manufactured by Eden Foods Incorporation and sold in a box that's green and says Eden soy on it. I don't understand what the issue is with that. Like, if you have a problem with that, you need to look internal, I think. Okay, moving right along. No, that was so unhinged. I'm so fucking sorry. But that's why I'm getting all this protein. And when I tell you that milk is really good, okay, we've already covered that milk tastes good. I think I very clearly communicated that with the God angel thing. Anyway, so that is one of the wellness trends I'd like to catch on. Like, these drinks, when I tell you they give me the best poos, they're depuffing, they put you in a good mood, they energize you, they give you all the minerals that you need and electrolytes. Well, electrolytes are a type of mineral, which if you listen to last week's episode, you would know. And if not, I really recommend you listen to it. It's honestly a phenomenal episode. Like, they hit all the boxes, and they're fun and they're pretty, and they just like make you feel special. Like, when you drink something that pretty, you just like fucking feel special. Like, you feel good about yourself. Like, who wouldn't want that? Like, it just like gives me truly it girl vibes. So that is, yeah, that's one trend I'd like to start. Okay, another one is this device called the Breathinator. So let me backtrack. So as you guys know, a couple months ago or a month ago, I don't know, time just is like merging together. I have no idea what the fuck happened. Like, how is it? Like, I feel like late spring is all a blur. Like, I don't even know what the fuck happened in like May and June, I guess. Like, the May and June are a fucking blur. Anyway, so I don't know, at some point in May or in June, who knows? Truly, who knows? But you guys know I was like melting down left, right, and center, just like having a really hard time with everything. So one of my close friends, angel baby that she is, texted me one day and she's like, hey, I have an idea. And I was like, what's up? And she's like, listen, there's this guy. She used to live in New York. She doesn't live here anymore. She's like, there's this guy I used to see when I lived in New York. He's technically an acupuncturist, but I say acupuncture is more like the vessel through which he does his work. She's like, he's like intuitive, he channels, like he does all these things. And yes, he will put needles in your body, but that's such a like minor fraction of what happens. He's fucking amazing. He like sets you right. I want you to go see him on me. I'm going to pay for it. I think this would really help you. I mean, truly, like one of the nicest, most generous things anyone's ever done for me. Like, I cried so much when she reached out to me and said that. And I went to see him and he's like fucking amazing. He's like super weird and we love that. And he's kind of like hot and kind of has like surfer dude energy and like really does not seem, if you just looked at him, you would never, ever, ever think that he is like a new age spirituality guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have like dreadlocks and he's not like, you know, he hasn't renamed himself like something Sanskrit and he doesn't wear, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't give that energy. He just looks like a normal guy who like probably has a very normal life, but also is like deeply spiritual and deeply connected and just all these things. Anyways, when I word vomited everything that was going on with me, one of the things that he recommended to me is this device called the Relaxator, and it's created by the Conscious Breathing Institute. And I ordered it and I brought it here with me. Now, the very first thing he said to me, he said, the downside for you is going to be the color of this thing. Now I will hold it up again. And if you're not watching on video, you're making a mistake that I hate to throw in your face over and over again, but just know you are making a mistake. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's like a kind of bright green and turquoise kind of color. It's not ugly. It's not like blush coated. You know what I mean? And I use it all the fucking time, including when I walk down the street, and it kind of looks like a whistle and it kind of looks like I'm off to coach Little League. But it's this insane device where what you do is you breathe. By the way, you can go to relaxator.net. But you guys know I like to put all the links in one place. So I put it in my ShopMy, which is an affiliate link platform. But not all of the links that I put there, just so you guys know, are affiliate links. Like a lot of them are not affiliate links, but I just put them all there so that they're in one place so that you can access them. So this is like a gift that I give you. Like, you're welcome. Like I spend a lot of time doing this actually. So I hope you guys do appreciate it. Anyway, so what you do with this is you inhale through your nose and you put this thing in your mouth, kind of like a whistle, and then you exhale through your mouth. And there are 5 dials, 5 being the highest, 1 being I don't mean 5 being the highest in terms of numbers. I am aware that you guys know how to count. I mean, okay, so basically it constricts your out breath, which forces your out breath to be slower than your in breath. So at level 5, it constricts it the most. At level 1, it's the most open. So this guy, my friend's acupuncturist, told me that when he's on walks, he puts it on 1. I actually put it on 3 when I go to on walks. I find 1 to just be a little too easy for me, you know, not to brag. I mean, the lungs of a former pothead over here, you know? Anyway, but it's fucking amazing. When I tell you this thing kind of instantly mellows me out, instantly brings me to the present moment. It's just like I have it on me all the time. Now, what I wouldn't give for this thing to come in beige. Like, we need, hello, Conscious Breathing Institute. If you're listening, can we collaborate? I can visualize it now. It's like beige and camel. How chic. Maybe like a tiny bit of even gold on there or something, or like wood. what if there was like a little bit of like birch wood somewhere, like on like where it fastens or something like that? Or this thing is in wood and then the lanyard is in beige. I don't know. I mean, it could even be on a gold chain. I mean, I know they make that one like breathing device necklace whistle that's like $100 and it's gold and that's really chic, but I don't think it does the same thing this does, like with the dial, and I don't think it like constricts out breath like that thing is kind of chic though. This thing, again, it literally looks like I'm off to coach like a child's soccer practice, maybe game. I don't know. I'd like to think in this hypothetical scenario, I'm not just the assistant coach. Like maybe I could cry in my own wildest fantasies. Maybe I could actually be the head coach. Who knows? I did once coach Little League cheerleading. That was a really fun year. Anyway, I fucking love this thing. Oh, and apparently the head of the Conscious Breathing Institute basically helped write that book. I forget who wrote the book, but it's called Breath. If you've not read that book, I'll also link that. It is one of the best books I've ever fucking read. Like when I tell you it changed my life, a lot of it was about mouth breathing. And honestly, my takeaway was it's a miracle that I've made it to 37 years old and not died in my sleep with all the mouth breathing that I do. Apparently mouth breathing causes every problem you've ever heard of ever in the history of the world ever. Like maybe we should go tape people's mouths up in the Middle East. Maybe that could resolve the conflict. I mean, we've tried everything else, right? We've tried interventions, we've tried embargoes, we've tried threats, we've tried carrots, we've tried sticks. Let's try a little mouth tape. Maybe that'll do it. You know, just coming up with innovative ideas left, right, and center over here at Blush HQ. Anyway, so... No, I fucking love this thing. I love this thing. And when it arrived, Ozzy was out of town and we were FaceTiming one morning before I went to solid core. My eye is twitching, if you can see that. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's been on a little twitching spree lately. So I had like the lanyard around my neck because I was using it and then I had it down. And when we were FaceTiming, he's like, hey, what the hell is that lanyard around your neck? And I was like, oh, if you think the lanyard is silly, wait till you see what's at the end. And I hold it up and he's like, I don't even want to know, honestly. I did get one for him though. And yeah, I mean, it looks silly. It has changed my fucking life. It has it is the easiest, most accessible, and quite frankly, like cheap. Like I've gotten so many other more expensive mindfulness and meditation devices and tools and workshops and books and classes and whatever. This, the ultimate fucking game changer. And the thing is, it's so easy to do and you can just do it while you're doing other things. And without even realizing, you'll probably use it for over an hour a day, literally without even trying or realizing it. Like it has been such a fucking game changer for me. Like I've always been about meditation and breath work and stuff. And this has just made it more accessible, easier, and more effective. I die for it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm fucking obsessed with it. Okay. Ooh, okay, this next one's really interesting. So recently I was on TikTok and I was scrolling, you know, as one does. And I came across this TikTok of this girl who said, if you get 750 milligrams of vitamin C daily, that unlocks some kind of beauty hormone. And so I started doing research, and by research, I mean I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, by the way, when I say ChatGPT, I say ChatGBT, not PT, because G and P and T do not belong together. They're too harsh of sounds. It would make a lot more sense if it were B and not P. So listen, I try to say GPT, but when I try that, I often end up saying chi-PT because I'm trying to make all these really harsh sounds. So I might just go back to saying GBT. Like, it's so much better. Like, petition to change it. Anyway, although I've never really understood the name in general, but that's neither here nor there. So I asked ChatGPT, and Chat said there have been studies that show that between 400 to 1,000 milligrams per day of vitamin C increases skin collagen density and reduces wrinkle depth, particularly when paired with other collagen cofactors like zinc, vitamin E, and amino acids. So the reason it does this is because vitamin C supports collagen production, right? Now, to put this in context, the 750 milligrams of vitamin C, the recommended daily allowance for women is 75 milligrams. So this is 10 times the RDA, okay? However, the tolerable upper limit for vitamin C is 2,000 milligrams per day. So it's still well under, like if you get 750 milligrams per day, vitamin C per day, you should not be hitting any sort of health issues, is my understanding from the research I've done. And in fact, there might be other benefits like UV protection. It supports dopamine and serotonin production because of cofactor roles in tyrosine. Tyrosine for dopamine and tryptophan for serotonin. So I thought that was interesting. It increases gut motility and improves iron absorption, which is really great for energy. And also if you have like thyroid issues, it could play into it. Not necessarily. Now, here's the thing. I'm someone who naturally eats tons of vitamin C. I love lemons. I love limes. I love sour things. I love citrus fruit. I love tomatoes. Tomatoes are really rich in vitamin C. I eat a lot of berries. Like I'm naturally getting a fuck ton of vitamin C, and I wasn't even close to getting 750. I think like on that particular day I totaled it and I was getting like maybe like 300 to 400, and again I probably get far more than the average person. So it is hard to hit that amount through food alone, but I recommend using whole food sourced supplements to specifically acerola cherry. That would be my number one. I'll link the one that I've been taking. And then camu camu powder is also really good. They're both like whole fruits that are just dried and pulverized. So you're still getting it as a whole food, but like you're just going to be able to, like you'd have to eat just like 20 oranges or something otherwise. You know what I mean? So it's a more effective way to go about it, but it's still, your body's going to absorb it like a whole food. So yeah, I've been doing that. I can't say I've noticed any sort of difference, but it's something I'm testing out. And I don't know, maybe it's a little trend we can start together. I will say I notice a bigger difference on the days where I have a lot of aloe vera juice with it too. I think the combo works out really fucking nicely. Okay, another wellness trend I've been trying to start, or not really wellness, this one, but another trend I've been trying to start is the bare lash summer. Now, I did first notice this on Amanda Batula when she did Watch What Happens Live, like, I don't know, at some point, maybe a couple months ago or something. She did a no mascara look, and I just thought she looked so beautiful. And there was something so, I can't explain it. Like she had makeup on the rest of her face. And she looked really, really beautiful, but it was like very kind of Parisian, sexy, like minimalist, like very cool girl energy. And I day to day actually do not wear mascara. I used to always wear mascara, and I had this thing where anytime I wore mascara, I thought it was like beautiful, stunning, like should be on the cover of a magazine. And anytime I didn't have mascara on, I was like, oh my God, who is this like swamp rat troll? And like, how did she enter into our lives? Like, oh my God, like someone throw her back down the sewer. And then I started wearing mascara less and less and less because I hated this feeling of feeling like I was so ugly if I didn't have mascara on. So even before this trend, I was never wearing mascara in my day-to-day, but I would wear it like for the podcast, for example. And then ever since the whole like bare lash summer trend that I've been trying to start, I actually have only worn mascara on the podcast one time. I have bare lashes right now. I do use an eyelash curler, and I have a really fucking good one, the one by Shiseido. I don't know if I pronounced that brand name correctly. Holy fucking shit, you guys. This is the most beautiful mascara in the existence of humanity. I'm not mascara, sorry. Eyelash curler. Like no other eyelash curler really works for me. This one works so beautifully, so flawlessly. I think it's better for people with like, I don't know. I think other eyelash curlers are like too curved and it just like feels weird and feels like it's going to pull out my eyelashes. This one, perfection. I fucking love it. So I will link it. Now, here's the thing. So I use an eyelash curler. I do like to always gel my brows to have those be in place and perfect. And I think it's really nice if you have a little glow, a little shimmer on your face. So you bring that glowy, bronzed, summer, effortless kind of like, I'm just like a beach slicker kind of vibe. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it looks so Parisian and so cool. And I want to say one other thing about this. So I naturally have long lashes, right? And my friend was like, oh, but I hate this like bare lash thing because like I have such short lashes. Like I need mascara. And I was like, no, you of all people should be thriving with a bare lash summer because like my lashes are my strength, right? Like I don't have like good lips. I don't have other good features. My lashes are my strength. And you would think like when that's your strength, you want to highlight them. But instead, when you're not using mascara, you're not highlighting them. So if anything, I think this mostly benefits the smaller lash girlies, but for all of us, it's really fucking good for our lashes. It's good for our lash health is all I'm saying. Just make sure you don't like pull out your eyelashes with the eyelash curler and like don't use it every day, you know, be judicious with it. But it's a fucking vibe. I'm telling you, like when I think of like cool, effortless, chic, kind of like Parisian, quiet luxury, bare lashes are right there in that. That's just that it's just what I'm into and it's a trend I'd like to start. What can I say? I think this might be our last. No. Wow. Oh my God. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 trends. I guess these were written in no particular order. Okay. This one isn't like super wellnessy, but it's more like a productivity type of like, or like mindset type of trend I'd like to start. And that is not just embracing, but actually chasing rejection. Let me explain. So a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, my friend Maggie sent me this reel that about this woman who basically was saying how to like make it on social media as an influencer or whatever, you really have to be so consistent. And that's a really hard thing to do because 99% of what you do flops, and that flop like is embarrassing and it feels like rejection. And she even said something that resonated so hard. She's like, it kind of gives that feeling of being in high school and like not being cool or popular, which I relate to so much and like truly is the currency with which I speak. And she was saying how, you know, even though you're constantly like feeling that rejection, you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. You just have to be consistent. And then eventually you get there. And this wasn't the point of the reel, but she said one line in there that I then took and like ran with and turned into this whole other thing. But she said that if you set like a goal, a rejection goal for yourself, you'll end up reaching your goal far faster. And that gave me this idea to set this rejection challenge for myself. So basically, I created what I call a rejection log. And I track all my quote unquote rejections. So for me, I've defined rejection as anytime I post a reel or a TikTok or a photo or whatever and it flops, anytime I reach out to a brand to collaborate and they don't respond or they say no, or, you know, a few other things. And I set a reward system for myself. So after my first 20 rejections, I could order 3 things off of my Revolve wish list. After my first 50 rejections, I could order this like one specific thing I wanted. And then every subsequent 50 rejections, I have more prizes kind of waiting for me. And I log all of my rejections. I write them down. Now for you, this might look different. Let's say if you're like searching for a new job, I would say every single job application would be a rejection. If you are, let's say you're trying to like find your person and settle down, why don't you create a rejection challenge for yourself of approaching people and talking to them? Or if you're someone who's like afraid to go on dates and stuff, set a rejection goal for yourself, and every bad date is a rejection. Like there's so many uses for this. If you're some kind of freelancer, every time you reach out and pitch someone and it doesn't go anywhere, that's a rejection. But just it takes the sting away from something that should feel bad. Now I don't even care. Guess what? every single thing I've posted since then has been a fucking rejection. I have not had one reel, one TikTok, nothing go viral. I haven't had anything do well. Every single thing has flopped. I think as of right before I started recording this podcast, I think I'd racked up 68 rejections. I don't even give a fuck. I'm still going. Usually I'd be burnt out. I'd be like, I can't believe I posted 68 pieces of content in like the past 2 weeks and not a single one is done well. Like that fucking sucks. But nah, mama's sitting pretty. I got a new silk skirt. I ordered this beautiful like sheer silk cape top from this bridal brand that I've been eyeing for fucking ever. I got those beautiful mixed metal earrings I was wearing on last week's podcast. I mean, obviously it doesn't all have to be around these monetary things because also like I'm not trying to go broke doing this rejection challenge. Obviously the hope is after a certain number of rejections, things go well and I start making some money, and your rewards don't have to be monetary or financial. Like they could be whatever actually motivates you. Unfortunately, as a vain fucking bitch, this is what motivates me. So this is how we're doing it. But like, how amazing is this? Like, what a nice reframe is it? And I can guarantee you having this mindset is going to have you achieve your goals so much faster because you're not focused on the outcome anymore. You're focused on the action. You're focused on the consistency. And that's how you get places. That's how you manifest things, honestly. It's by really trying really fucking hard so often. Like, how often do I talk about this? It's so true. Anyway, my goal is that by next week, actually by the time this podcast comes out, I want to hit 120 rejections. So I'll check in with you guys on this rejection challenge and let you know how it's going. Whew. Okay, this next one is a really good one. This is like one of my favorite trends that I'd like to start. And I call it like the food authentic code. So let me backtrack. So last week I talked about To Be Magnetic, which is the manifestation platform that I do. And in it, Lacey Phillips has this concept called the authentic code. And it's basically your values. So she helps you figure out what your guiding values are that are truly authentic to you on a true soul level. And everything in your life should filter through your quote unquote authentic code. And this is actually based on Dr. DeMartini's work. He calls it like his book, The Values Factor. And there's a whole framework in there. And it's on his website too, where there's this questionnaire that helps you figure out what your values are. So Lacey credits this with his work, although it's slightly different, but like kind of same concept. And we just did the money challenge for TBM. And there was a whole money authentic code there so that you can figure out your money authentic code. Okay, so there's that. And then I think you guys know in the beginning of the year, I became really obsessed with this stylist, Allison Bornstein, and she has what she calls the 3-word method for figuring out your personal style. And there is kind of a regimented method. I mean, you can just come up with like 3 words, but she has kind of a method of finding it, which is you should pull out everything that you actually wear in your closet consistently and see what all those clothes have in common. And then look at all the clothes that you save and your wish list and stuff like that. What do all of those have in common? And then, so those are your first 2 words. And then your last word is how you want to feel in your clothes. So I think when I did her 3-word method, mine were comfortable or functional, I may have said. But basically, all the clothes that I wear consistently are comfortable. They're also like functional. So like, for example, if I'm going on a long walk, I'm not going to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I never like tight waistbands. I have to be able to breathe, yada, yada. Like I like to be comfortable. All the things that I save are tailored. Like I love a lot of menswear. I love that kind of like tailored aesthetic. And I want to feel elegant in my clothes. So yeah, that's my 3-word method. I think my money authentic code that I just did for TBM, there was elegance, bit of a theme, vibrance, which was the word I found for like healthy food and like juices and coconut waters and like exercise and being in sunshine. That kind of vibe, that like healthy vibe, you know, creative expression, I always forget the other word and I really like it too. Wow, that's going to drive me crazy. I don't know. We'll come back to it. Oh, I hate that feeling. Okay, well, whatever. If I remember, I'll let you know. It doesn't really matter though. Anyway, I was thinking that I think that you could apply this idea of the authentic code or the values or the 3-word method or whatever to your diet and nutrition. Hear me out. I think, oh, and by the way, let me backtrack a little bit. So Alison Bornstein's whole thing with the 3-word method is that when you find your 3 words, these 3 words describe your personal style. And good personal style, like a good outfit for you, is always going to have elements of all 3 words. And she says that the biggest mistake that people make with style is they'll be like, oh, I don't have a personal style because like sometimes I like edgy and sometimes I like classic and sometimes I like chic and sophisticated or whatever. But she says the more disparate your words are, actually the more interesting of personal style you have. It's just that you want to combine them rather than like being in costume, right? Like you don't have like one day like you're dressed as like a biker, biker costume, and then one day like be in like Audrey Hepburn costume. Instead, you want to combine the elements, and that's when you have good and interesting personal style. Like they should be words that are actually kind of contrasting. That's what makes it interesting. So I think the same thing could be applied to your food intake. Hear me out. If you find like the 3 to 4 words that describe how you want to eat and feel in your body around food, then if you filter all of your meals through those words, you're going to be left satisfied and like you're not going to overeat, you're not going to obsess over food, you're not going to binge, you're not going to have food noise, like, and you're going to feel really fucking good and actually achieve your goals, because you're hitting the things that actually matter to you. So I'll give you an example of what mine would be. Oh, and here's how I think you should go about it. Although, again, you can vary it up. Like it doesn't have to be like this regimented. But basically, for the first word, I would look at the things that you actually eat. Like look at this past week, look at all the things that you ate. What's a word that you would describe that like you would find that describes like most of these things? Number 2, look at like the recipes that you save on Instagram and TikTok and like the things that you're kind of drawn to. What word did these have in common? And then for the third one, this one might not apply to everyone, but for a lot of people, I think there's some value in looking at how you ate as a child. And the reason I say as a child is because I want you to go back before there was any societal programming around food, before you got absorbed into diet culture, before you became obsessed with wanting to look a certain way that the media imprinted into you that you had to look. And then you started spiraling and you started eating bowls of cottage cheese because Weight Watchers told you to do so with some broiled grapefruit on the side, before all that fucking noise came in. I want you to go back to, and this is why I say as a child, it's a convoluted thing, because obviously the way we eat as a child is often different than the way we eat as adults. But oftentimes for a lot of us, our childhood is the last time that we were actually eating truly intuitively. So maybe that doesn't apply for you, but if it does, kind of look at like how you were eating and if anything was really different. And I'll give you a good example from mine. And then the last word is how you want to feel in your body, specifically around food. So for mine, for the first word, not every single thing that I eat, but most of what I eat, most of what I'm drawn to is really juicy. So I love tomatoes. I love cucumbers. I love cantaloupe. Like I love really juicy things. I will always choose something juicy over something denser. Like it's just a flavor profile that works better for me. My second word, like the things that I save. So at first I was thinking I really like a lot of Asian flavors. Those are things that I'm really drawn to. But then when I looked further, I realized all of kind of like the reels and TikToks and stuff like that with like food and recipes that I save are really creative and layered. Like it's not just like a brownie. It's like a salted caramel brownie with like a peanut glaze and a pumpkin granola crunch on top or something. And you guys kind of notice that in my recipes too. They're really layered. Like that's what I'm drawn to. I like the creativity and the complexity. I like contrasting flavors. I like a lot of sauces. One could even say saucy could be one of my words. Honestly, saucy should be one of my words, but whatever. And I like textures. Like I just like a lot of complexity and creativity in my food. The third word, and this one can really explain a lot about what I mean by this childhood thing. So let me backtrack. So like really since college up until very recently, I've been such a big intermittent faster to the point where for most of these years, I've actually eaten like one gigantic meal a day and then kind of like fasted the rest of the day. And I've talked about this for years now, for like 5 to 6 years now, how when I was a kid, I never ate a big meal. I was just like a regular grazer. Like I would just eat very small meals consistently throughout the day. Like even my mom said, even as a baby, like I would breastfeed like in very small amounts, but very, very regularly. And that's just how I like to drink milk. And when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, like I think that because that happened before I had any sort of like diet culture and like this and that and like wanting to cut calories, save calories, yada, 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 maybe that's the way, like intuitively, like maybe that's what would be most nourishing to my body if I return to that kind of grazing kind of mindset. And then for the last word, I wrote effervescent. Like I want to feel light and bubbly in my body. Like I don't want to feel weighed down by my food ever. Like I just want to feel like energized and light, which also goes hand in hand with the grazing thing rather than having that one giant meal that really weighs you down. I did those with Ozzy too. And the 4 words that we came up with for him were dense, hearty, easy, and satisfied, which I love. Like, isn't that so good? I also did it with my friend Monica. So my friend Monica realized everything that she eats, like, or not everything that she eats, but like every meal has to have something sweet. So that's one of her words. And then all the things that she said she saves are really like refreshing. Those are the ones she's drawn to. As a kid, she always had to eat crunchy things. And then she said that she wants to feel fulfilled, right? Your 4 words can be anything. It can also be 3 words if like you don't really need the 4th one. And like be as honest and as base as you need to. Like I was talking to someone who like her 4th word, she's like, I want to feel skinny. And I was like, that's fine. You can write that down. So like every meal that you have should support all those things. So like for my friend Monica, like every meal should have a sweet component. It should have a refreshing component. It should have a crunchy component. And it should be fulfilling to her. For the girl who said skinny, like let's say, okay, one of her words was also hearty. Then she would have to have something hearty in her meal, but also lighter things that would help support her body goals, right? Like the way that you feel, like it could be aesthetic. It could also be like I want to feel like, oh, also your words can change over time, as do your values, as does your style, as does everything. You change and evolve as a person, right? If you would ask me like last year, my 4th word would be like sharp or happy or something like that, because I was really focusing on my cognitive and my mental health. Whereas now, like I'm focusing more on like not feeling weighed down, right? Like our things change all the time. Like could be that like at some point in time, you're really focused on your body weight and other times you're more focused on your mood or like what, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter, but I think it's a fun exercise. And I think it could be a really good guide as to how you should eat to feel fulfilled and meet your goals. Because like the thing with Alison Bornstein, rather than like having these very disparate styles, what actually makes you have good style is incorporating all the components. So rather than like having one meal that's like really hearty and filling and nourishing, and then another meal that's like really light and like whatever, you want to combine these things so that you're satisfied all the time and also moving towards your goals. You don't want to have like one meal that's like moving you towards your goals and then one meal that's setting you back. This way you're always moving kind of in a positive direction. Does that make sense? Okay, 2 more trends to go. I feel like I've been talking for forever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking really fast. So, and by the way, by trends, I mean things that I want to be trends. So for this one, so I lost a lot of weight when I was in college. Like the summer before my senior year, I think I lost like 20 pounds or something. And I had gained weight in college. That's why. But really one of the biggest reasons, and there were a lot of things that helped me, but like I would say this was one of the biggest things. It's that I started eating carbs. Like I just started eating carbs. And then a couple of years ago, also, I lost a lot of weight, and not a lot, but like a little bit of weight. And a similar thing, I started eating bread again. After many, many years of not eating bread, I started eating bread. Now, you might think this rule is like eat carbs. That's not what it is. The rule I call is the no low calorie ice cream rule. And it's basically this idea of you want to give yourself what you actually want rather than finding like a low calorie version of that thing or like a healthier version of that thing. And there are some caveats to this, but by and large, if you just have a smaller portion of the thing that you actually want, rather than like the low calorie version of that thing, you're going to be more satisfied and you're going to stop eating sooner. And this is actually based on studies they've done in the past. I wish I had some of these statistics on me. I really fucked up by not writing some of this stuff down, like my 4th fucking money authentic code word, which I believe was so fucking good, and I'll never know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. It's written down somewhere. I just don't know. Presence. That's what the 4th word was presence. Like I want to be present, but I also want to have like a presence, like that, like quiet confidence in yourself, which me using the word quiet on myself is, I see the irony there. Anyway, so, where was I going with this? Yeah. So there were studies on this that found that when people ate regular ice cream versus low calorie ice cream, they actually ended up eating like astronomically fewer calories because they could have smaller amounts, be satisfied and stop. Whereas when you're having the low calorie ice cream, you ended up just eating the whole fucking tub and you're still not satisfied. So then you go to the store and buy regular ice cream and then you eat that too, right? You may as well just go ahead and have the thing that you want. Hold on a second, guys. Readjusting. That's okay. Yeah, just get comfy, okay? Just doing a pillow for your head. I know you're the pillow queen. Our little pillow princess. I love you. You're doing a very good job co-hosting, okay? Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, you're way better off just getting the thing that you actually want. Like bread is a big one for me. Like no amount of like low calorie crackers and like stupid low whatever bread is going to take the place of a really good sourdough for me. It's just not. Like I'm thinking about sourdough. I have some sourdough in the oven right now. I can't fucking wait to go have some. Okay, that shit is so fucking good. Anyway. You just have to, and like I could have 2 slices of sourdough bread and be far more satisfied than if I had like a fucking loaf of some weird low calorie bullshit. And now you might be thinking the hypocrisy, like isn't your whole thing making healthier versions of things? It is, but you have to know where for you can quote unquote save and where you can quote unquote splurge. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I've been making sushi at home using riced cauliflower. And so with the cauliflower rice, I found a way to season it like sushi rice and get it sticky like sushi rice. And it works really fucking well. Like it works flawlessly. And it really hits the spot for me. But the thing is, I never liked sushi because of the rice. I liked it because of the seaweed. I liked the texture of the rice. And I liked the way the rice was flavored with like the vinegar and the salt and the sugar and stuff. I don't use sugar in my version, but that's neither here nor there. But it wasn't about the rice itself. I've actually never really liked rice very much, to be completely honest with you. So now that I found this version of it, it satisfies all the same things for me. and I can like quote unquote save there. But like I said, with the bread, nothing is going to take the place of bread. Or for a while, I was afraid of eating tofu because of all this like soy fear mongering. I fucking love tofu. And anything I would try to like substitute tofu, including like I've tried chickpea tofu and other bean tofus and things like that, none of them hit that spot for me the way tofu did. So like that's an area where quote unquote splurge on the real thing. And you have to figure out what those things are for you. And only you know that. Like an example from Bethany Frankel from her book, I remember reading it a billion years ago, but she said that when she eats chili, like, you know, like the soup, the stew, whatever, what she's really after are the flavors, the cumin, the paprika, the beans, things like that. So she'll often have vegetarian chili because it just like hits the spot for her, versus she would never get chicken over a steak. Like she would be so much more satisfied with a steak, even though it's richer and it's higher in calories, but she could have a few bites and just move on. Whereas like that wouldn't happen with chicken. You really have to get clear. And honestly, I think that knowing your kind of food authentic code could be a really good anchor for this, so that you know, like for example, I like things juicy. Riced cauliflower is more juicy than the actual rice. You see where I'm going with this? I think it can really, like, when you know your food authentic code, then you know exactly where you need to save and you need to splurge. And the areas where you need to splurge, you should never fucking save, because you will never be satisfied. You just won't. And then you're going to end up overeating. And here's another harsh truth that goes along with this. If you really need a low calorie version of something that you actually really, really love, then there's probably some kind of imbalance that's making you seek that. And let me explain. Like I used to try to eat a lot of like low calorie versions of things because I wanted to eat a larger quantity of food without like having as many calories. And that ultimately went down to the fact that I wanted to numb emotional pain through the physical act of eating. So I wanted to eat as much and for as long as possible so that I could like self-soothe instead of having to face the things that I'm trying to numb, if that makes sense. So just a little food for thought there. And then this last one is, I wrote down fun and balance greater than rigidity. And this is a really fucking important one. So recently I had a night where I went out with Ozzy and a few friends and we had a few drinks. I think I had 4 drinks and I ordered a 5th one, but I just didn't finish it. And the next morning, my HRV, my heart rate variability, was higher than it had been all of 2023 and 2024 pretty much. And like, if you don't know, so HRV is your heart rate variability. It's basically a measure of your body's stress response. And one of the things that tanks it the quickest is drinking. Like usually after drinking, your HRV is like in the toilet. And on this particular morning, it was so much higher literally than it was for 2 years. And I realized it's because I fucking had fun. Like, yeah, I had drinks. Yeah, I slept less. Yeah, I didn't sleep as good, yada, yada, yada. But I also fucking had fun. And I think that there are so many times where we're so rigid with ourselves. Like a lot of us in this wellness space are so rigid with ourselves. And that creates more stress and more difficulty in your life than just saying fuck it and like having a little bit of fun and having a little bit of balance. Am I saying you should be having 5 drinks every single night and never sleeping? Of course not. That would be a disaster. But am I saying like, stay up a little late once in a while? Like last year I got like psycho after listening to someone, I'm not going to say who, on a podcast, who would not shut up about like the importance of sleeping at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every day. And I know it's important, but she, like, the way it stressed me out so much, and I never wanted to like any night where I was like running later to getting into bed, I would like be freaking out. And then I also like never got to really have a lot of quality time with Ozzy because I was constantly trying to stay on this very regimented sleep wake schedule, and I had no balance in my life. I was so depressed. Like it was was just so fucking bad. And now once in a while, like the other night, it was Ozzy's last night before he left for a week, and we're watching The Pit together right now. We finished an episode and he's like, I really want to start another, but I know you have to go to bed. Like, it's already 10:30. And I was like, fuck it. It's your last night. Let's have a little fun. Let's like watch another episode. And he's like, really? Are you sure? When we started it, we ended up not finishing it. But nevertheless, like, yeah, I got less sleep, but I also got really valuable connection time with my partner. And those things sometimes outweigh like the emotional benefit that you get from fun, laughter, and connection, especially that connection piece, so often outweighs the physical harm of what it took to get there. A little bit of sacrificed sleep, a little bit of alcohol in your system, maybe a little bit of sugar, like whatever it may be, right? Who cares? Live a little. I'm not saying live to excess all the time, but live a little, have a little bit of balance in your life. It's always going to be better for you than rigidity. Like the benefits of that fun and that laughter, etc., it really does outweigh it. Plus, like not stressing yourself out. Like we're not intended to be living these like perfectly regimented lives. Like it's just not the way. It isn't. That is the biggest lesson that I've learned in 2025, hands down, especially comparing this year to last year. Okay, that brings us to the end of the episode. So we're going to do foods that make you blush. Now, usually foods that make you blush are foods that have nutrients that support things that we've talked about this episode. This episode, to keep it on theme, these are food trends that I feel like I've started and I'm perpetuating or I want to start. So number one is obviously coconut water. Like that is, I mean, come on. Like if you guys don't automatically think of me when you see coconuts, like something's off, right? Like the number of DMs I get from people drinking coconuts and drinking coconut water, like that shit makes me so fucking happy. For a while, I would have put melons on here, but I feel like I haven't been doing as many melon things. And I just love the coconut water because it helps me poo. It helps me with depuffing. It's a great natural sweetener. It's loaded with electrolytes. Like it's so hydrating. It's good for your skin, your mood, your bowels, everything. Number two right now, guys, it's the fucking pandan. So I told you, I finally got my hands on the extract, the powder. I love the extract, the powder. I'm still getting the hang on, but I'll link both. The flavor is exquisite. Like it's definitely kind of like it's like a more complex, interesting kind of vanilla. I die for it. Like bury me. I want to bathe in it. Like I've never had anything so fucking good. I'm going to be pumping out some of these drink recipes using it, going back to the top of the episode. I fucking love it. Number three, ube. So I just ordered some ube powder. Ube is a type of purple yam, by the way. And the color is so vibrant, so beautiful, but it's also really rich in antioxidants. It has natural sweetness, and like on a kind of metaphysical, kind of like woo-woo spiritual level, any type of root vegetable is really good for grounding because like they're from under the ground, you know? I mean, listen, it's a little woo-woo, but I like it. Number four, soy. I mean, embracing soy after years of being afraid of soy has been one of the biggest game changers in my health and my life. It's affected my mood more than I can put into words. It's helped me with my body composition. It's helped me put on so much muscle and burn so much fat. And it's been the single best thing for my energy levels because like it's really good for iron, thyroid, etc. Like it's been so fucking good for me. And then the fifth one is tomatoes. You guys know I love my tomatoes. They're juicy, they're good for your skin, they're good for your mood, and I just love how they like balance out flavors, especially like how they pair with salt. Like I always have to have tomatoes. Honestly, one of my 4 authentic code words could just be tomato because pretty much every single meal for me has to have tomatoes. So that's it. That's the episode. That brings us to the end where we do a quick gratitude segment where I list 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it's really an invitation for you to list 3 things that you're grateful for while you're listening. And the whole reason that we do this is because having a regular gratitude practice has been scientifically proven to make you a happier and more optimistic person. And listen, we need all the fucking help we can get, right? So I'm grateful. I actually had another episode recorded for this week, but it was with someone else, and I'll be real with you, it just wasn't good. So I'm really, really grateful that I had the insight to re-record that. And what's funny is even before I uploaded the file, I was fully planning on re-recording it, because it just, as soon as we were done recording, I was like, this is a dog shit episode. It's not good in any way at all. But also when I uploaded it, the audio, there was something wonky with it. So I was like, thanks universe for like affirming my decision. Oh, you know what? I didn't get into the wear your good underwear rule. I'll just throw it at. Remember early in the episode, I was like, oh, I have this like wear your good underwear rule. You know what? Should we talk about it next week? We'll talk about it next week. Leave something to the imagination, because you guys probably have no idea what the fuck it's going to refer to. So yeah, remind me someone to get into wear good underwear rule next episode. But okay. I've had this mindset lately. This is my second grateful, of everything is a message. Everything is a sign. Everything is a message. There is no coincidence. It's like, think of a movie, right? There's nothing in the movie, everything from the set design to the clothes to the, I was going to say the lyrics. The lyrics, the lyrics of the movie, the script, the blocking of the acting, the lighting concept, every single thing in the movie is intentional and usually has a meaning towards the end, right? At least like really, really good movies, maybe not like some trash movies, but really, really good movies. Everything that's in the movie is intentional. Everything. Think of, what's a really good example of this is, Westworld. Like Westworld season 1, every single thing that was in that show was intentional and like had a meaning. Even just some random object that was placed in the background of a scene was there for a very particular reason. Like you could read layers and layers and layers into this. And I have adopted the same mindset with life, where every single thing that I come across, everything that I hear, everything that I experience, I'm like, it's a sign, it has meaning, like it's meant to communicate something to me. And instead of just being like, oh, it's coincidence or whatever, instead I'm like, why would the universe put this in my movie? It's kind of a concept from Kabbalah, although I feel like I recently came to it a little bit independently myself. But like, why is it in my movie is something I learned from my Kabbalah teacher. Nevertheless, I'm really grateful for adopting this mindset when I did, because the number of deep, profound, interesting breakthroughs I've had since adopting it is earth-shattering. And it's been less than a week. And maybe next week I can do a whole episode on this. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. And then my last gratitude thing. You know what? No, I was going to say I'm grateful she hasn't pooed, but we can't do that. It's too repetitive. I'm grateful. Oh, you know what? Today I had this moment where I was sharing something from my childhood with a couple of friends. And I was like, I know like people have had it so much harder, but this is something that I'm now realizing it's all because of like this challenge we just did, the TBM money challenge, right? And it helped me have these breakthroughs. And I was like, I know that like relative to other people, like I had it so good in these ways, but this is something that I realized really affected me. And both of them were like, no, that's actually deeply traumatic. Like that's not like, and they validated me so much. And I'm just so fucking grateful to have friends like that and to have like community like that. You know what I mean? And to just have friends and people that validate you and your experiences. So yeah, that's it. That's our episode. And this week and every week, I'm so fucking grateful for you guys. Also, if you have any requests, keep in mind Q&A episode is coming out soon. So send me any questions that you have. I think the easiest way at this point is email them to theblushpod@gmail.com. That's definitely the easiest way. So yeah, email your questions there. And then also, if you have any requests for next month's Blush Kitchen, let me know. And also, if you have any guest requests ever, there are a few topics I want to get into that are like a little bit out of my wheelhouse. So I'm trying to find good guests for those. And I think I have some stuff in the works. So get excited for that. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Have a great week. And you know what to do. Listen to the outro. please listen to the outro and do what it says because it really does help the show so much. Anyway, I love you guys. We'll talk next week. Bye. If you loved that episode as much as I hope you did, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and check out some past episodes while you wait for the new one to drop next week. And until next week, make sure to stay cunty out there.